Today we're taking a look at this giant Gothic tower that is part of the map on Lost Colony in ARK Survival Ascended, and I fully rebuilt this base into a perfect all-in-one base with a giant amount of space. If you don't know this spot, it has multiple little platforms. Well, I say little, they're actually quite big once you start building on them. There's different layers here, so you have a lot of potential space. Now, I will say for official, if you're trying to do the exact same thing I did, you'll run into the limit, so you might have to be smart about which parts you want to build and which ones you might not want to build, and start from the middle and build outwards, so you could potentially slightly go over the limit in certain places without not being able to build. But just keep in mind, if you do that you want to start decorating as well, because once you go over the limit, you can't place anything there. But especially for the breeding holes, it's not that bad if you can't place any decoration down anymore. It's safe to say that this was a giant undertaking and turned out way bigger than even I expected beforehand, but I think it definitely makes for a really cool base spot. Whether you go crazy like me and rebuild it in such a fashion, or you maybe build some smaller things on each of the different platforms, is of course totally up to you. Hello there, survivors, and welcome back to another video in ARK Survival Ascended. We will take a full tour throughout this base for some inspiration for if you want to build in this location. It is definitely one of the cooler ones that are pre-built here on the map that you can actually do a bunch of building in. It's mostly using the Lost Colony cosmetic, of course, from the DLC itself, but also using Castle Craft cosmetics painted into different colors to make them fit the theme a bit more for the extra castle vibes and the nice stained glass. And then also the free Dwarven Builders cosmetic from Svartalfheim that you can use for getting some more stained glass options. That is also definitely a very nice alternative to get some more of those stained glass going. As always, if you enjoy seeing videos like this and you want to continue to see more, make sure to like the video, of course subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and feel free to leave your suggestions for future builds you'd like to see down in the comments below. So here we are. This is the giant tower, and you can instantly see we rebuilt this entire site, so you can go up from the bottom layers to the top layers. We have a nice crafting and storage hall down here on this platform, but keeping plenty of space for a balcony on the outside, so you can land even the biggest flyers, as you can see with the Giga motors parked over there. Then on the other side, we decided not to do the full rebuild, also because of structures, but also we don't need that much space anyway. So we have another breeding hole on this side, as well as a nice top area here where we have a fully functioning greenhouse, so that you basically have everything covered that you might want to. And then if we go up to the top layers, you can see we have a kind of castle fortress entrance on this layer with a tribe tower, so that we have, you know, a full-on base, nicely protected, and taking full advantage of one of these epic pre-built locations on Lost Colony. Now, if you're wondering where this is located, it should be pretty easy to find because you can see it from miles away, but it is located right over here on the map. And it's definitely a great spot for a base, whether you go all out like I did, or maybe go in some smaller version of this. Let's start all the way at the bottom. So there is a few different pathways up to this base, like the mountain pass up here that will lead you to the bottom entrance. Then there's also some mountain pathways that can lead you to the upper entrance, but the main entrance is definitely the one here at the bottom. So this leads into a nice big behemoth gate, meaning, well, most creatures should easily be able to get inside here. And you can see we have two of the new Chinese dragons here. They are kind of weird because they can't land, so they kind of always float, but they always seem to kind of snap their necks. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that, but just to showcase how big this entrance hall is, I decided to place them down. Oh, they just kind of disappeared. Oh, they disappear if I look that way. Yeah, I just wanted to place them down here. Okay, let's get rid of these guys because they are a little bit confusing. But yeah, we have a giant main hall here that you could easily use for some breeding projects or bringing in your gathering tames, just landing your flyers as you go in and out of base. There's a lot of space here. And I also decided to make it the cryo storage, so all of the creatures you could have organized here so that it is easy to move in and out of the base. And then we have 3 directions to go into. We have the main crafting and storage hall straight in front of us. We have a breeding, hatching, and everything facility to the side, as well as the giant staircase up to the other layer, the top layers. And we have another breeding hall with the greenhouses and everything on top on the left side. But let's go straight ahead first into the crafting and storage hall, which is definitely one of the cooler places. Fully decorated. I used a few of the lava layer cosmetics here, which is one I was trying out. It does seem to fit the theme. It has some skins for some of the utilities, not all of them. And I've also used some castle craft, as you can see here on the medium teleporter, which I've painted gunmetal. All of the castle craft walls, by the way, that we can see in these parts are painted gunmetal, and the stained glass windows from castle craft that we have over here are painted red to blend in with the Gothic theme, with the dark vibes of the Lost Colony skin. But yeah, this is a medium teleporter so that you can easily bring in your gathering tames. You can unload them into the many forges here. You can see that this is definitely the main smelting room with plenty of forges here for massive production. And then we have some of the vaults with the Lost Colony skins along the edges here for more storage. We have a fabricator, smithy, and camp bench right here, as well as the clock to boost our productivity. We have some linked storage, and we have some grinders on the side if, you know, we have any loot that we don't want to keep. Although I'm guessing on this map you might want to keep your loot, because I've heard that is what you need to tame those dragons. So yeah, you might want to keep a lot of the stuff lying around, I suppose. We have a little doorway in here. We have a little kitchen area, so we have our fridges, or grills, or cookers, and beer barrels, and the same on the other side. And you can see we have just a nice amount of space, so easy to fly in and out of, because, well, most flyers, well, smaller flyers, of course, can fly through the dino gate, so you can land in here, drop off your gathering tames, unload, craft the things. We have a whole dedicated floor here as well, so that we can store our things quite nicely. And then we have the big balcony out here. We have a transmitter. We have a Giga Desmodus that can easily fit on here. I did not realize how big they were until I spawned one in for this tour to kind of have some cool decorations here. But they are quite big indeed. But definitely a really cool addition, as you can see. Then we have the normal Desmodus and an RG out here, because probably that's the more realistic thing that we might have parked here. But yeah, you can see the red stained glass windows here, which definitely look really cool, as well as the arches from the Lost Colony skins that are really nice. And then, oh, this one is not the right variant. There we go. And then we have our arches here on the side, looking very, very nice. This has definitely turned out to be a really cool building, this storage building. You could definitely just build that and have a pretty decent base, because it kind of covers all your basic needs for sure. We can also go upstairs to uncover a little bit more about this. We have a generator over here which powers the base, and we have a small teleporter which is also linked with the default destination, so I can press reload to teleport up all the way to the top layer. But for now, we'll go back down into the crafting hall and follow the way up to the next layer. We have our blood forge here, we have our libraries here, and we have our tech generator with the Castlecraft skin, so that we can do all of those things. And then along the back here, we have the new war bench, as well as the Mega Lab with the lava layer skin, which is quite cool. And we have some tech sleeping pods so that we can sleep in this base too, of course. And I found these kind of fitting because they kind of give like vampire coffin vibes, but then tech, of course. Maybe painting them would be good. See if you can get the blue to be red instead, and maybe painting them a little bit darker would be quite nice. And this also has a little balcony looking out over the main hall so that you can keep an eye out on everything that is going on there. But you can see this crafting and storage hall definitely features a lot of things already. It also has a nice balcony on this layer that you can walk all the way around on. It also means that you can also fly in to these sites when the gates are open, and you have some pretty incredible views from up here. So it's definitely a very nice base and place to use. Let's go back down here and check out some of the other parts of this build, because as I said, this is a big place. There is a lot of different things to explore here. Let's go into the breeding hall off to the side. So you can see it is big enough to do some Ocedon breeding here on one side. We have some other creatures, UTs, the Krylophosaurus, the male wins over here. You can of course bleed them for some blood so you can tame the Desmodas, etc., or make the elixirs, of course. Also on the sides here, every side actually has access to some balconies, so even on these sides. So if you want to land or fly in, you can do that, and of course enjoy incredible views, because that's one thing that is for sure. The map looks amazing, and this place is very high up, so we always have some pretty epic views. But you can see lots of space inside here, so all of your breeding can easily go on here quite easily, and you can fit all of your creatures quite easily inside. I don't think you need to worry about that. And then we can reach all the way to the top here. We have a little cellar door to get on. We have some more Desmodas here. We have some battlements looking out over the rest of the map, seeing the city in the distance, etc. We even have a bigger cellar door, although I do not recommend opening these with this skin, because right now, at least, hopefully that's fixed soon, it makes a lot of noise. For some reason it is awfully loud, so I'm not going to open it. And we have our greenhouse, and you can see I actually used the normal greenhouse glass here. I painted the glass regions red so they kind of match the darker Gothic vibes, and yeah, combine them with the Gothic sins. So I think it turned out pretty nice. It is a pretty big greenhouse, so we have these segments to the sides with a bunch of tech crop plots. Haven't planted anything in here yet, but you can see we have quite a few lined up. Of course, the same thing over here on this side, so even more crop plots, which of course all have the full effectiveness as well, so you can easily grow a lot of stuff here. And then in here we have even more crop plots, tech along the sides, and some normal ones in the middle. And you could even have some like storage capacity here at the back, so that you could all have your greenhouse related things here quite easily. Like, there's a lot of space obviously in this base, and it's quite nice to have everything in one place, I think. So yeah, this was quite a nice little addition, and quite like the way the greenhouse turned out. And yeah, again, didn't want to build this side all the way up to the top, because for one, it would just add way too many structures. Obviously, you could do so if you want to, and you don't have to worry about any build limits. Then yeah, definitely go ahead. But I think this was a more practical decision for sure. But you can see on the other side that we have built one of these sides all the way to the top. Kind of looks pretty cool if you fill it all the way in, of course. You can see the Castlecraft walls on most of these. We have the battlements, of course. We have the beautiful stained glass windows also from Castlecraft. We have these statues which are from Castlecraft. We have blended in a little bit of the Lost Colony here and there. And then these big windows down here are actually using the Dwarven Builders cosmetic, because the slope walls don't have a glass variant in Castlecraft, unfortunately, so had to use something else. We can't paint these windows, but they still add some very nice looking stained glass windows, and they add a lot of light to the inside of the base, which was the main reason I wanted to use them. So yeah, let's go back in here where we left off. and let's continue our adventure over to the other side of the base. As we can see how big this area is, you will definitely not run out of space. You can do all of the different breeding projects. Got some Rexes in here. We have a little hatching spot, but also plenty of room for our egg incubators if we want to use those instead. Of course, we have gene storage. We have the new cryo hospitals. We have more gene storage all the way over here. And as you can see, plenty of space for different breeding projects. Look at them all nicely lined up here, ready to go. But yeah, it's a big base. In fact, it's so big that for some reason this place in particular seems to not register that it is actually inside, and it still has snow on it, which is quite funny. And again, all of the sides have access to a little balcony, so you can easily park flyers, fly in and out of the base. Want to keep it very accessible, so again, all of the sides have this option, so that yeah, there's always a good place to enter the base from, no matter what direction you arrive from. And yeah, I think that is quite nice. But you can also see we have a massive staircase here, because I wanted to be able to connect the downstairs layer with the upstairs layers. And we could have, of course, used an elevator. Not very practical, because they're very, very slow. The most practical one is, of course, using those small teleporters with the default teleporting destination. So you instantly teleport all the way up to the right floor. But in case you want to walk when you have it on lock tech, we also have the stairs. We have some motors parked up here. And of course, we also have a giant window here to fly in and out of the base. For example, on your Giga motors, I'm not sure if you'll be able to get cool colors on them like this, but they definitely look very fancy. And again, this is when I discovered how big they were. But yeah, they should work, should fit through the behemoth gate, and it looks quite cool and impressive as a little bit of a decoration item here too. But yeah, then we can take up the rest of the stairs, of course, all the way to the top layer. So it is a very tall building. We have some thralls standing guard here, and this is where you would teleport to, so all the way up here. And as you can see, we can comfortably fit in a cloning chamber. You can actually also probably fit one downstairs and in some other areas if you needed more. But yeah, up here I decided to have the cloning chamber. And again, we have a pretty big room up here, so even if you just claim this room up here, you still have a pretty sizable space to use. We have some nice balconies off to the different sides, of course, where we can fly in and out of the behemoth gates. And more importantly, we have the really cool entrance here, which is kind of like the fortress entrance. I decided to add a large teleporter here as well with the Castlecraft skin. It has some really cool variations on there, as you can see. And we have some more guards out here. We have another big entrance here with the behemoth gate. And this is where it kind of looks like more of a fortress. We have the tribe tower with the Castlecraft skin, which definitely adds a cool effect here. And yeah, even if you just claim the top layer, so just that room, and you build out on this bridge, that already will make for a pretty big base. So this place definitely offers a bunch of different possibilities, but it was a really fun project trying to rebuild this all in one giant Gothic Tower base. So again, I really hope you guys like the base as well. It is definitely too big for official settings, but maybe you can take a few parts of this and use those as inspiration. I will be posting the full build video of this. I did this on stream, so you can already watch that back on my channel, but I will have a cut version, so it cuts out all the breaks and everything that we don't need. But it will still be a very long build if you want to take it all on. But I do think it looks really cool. I hope you guys like it as well. It was especially useful as a lesson to combine different skins with the Lost Colony structures. Definitely think painting Castlecraft is a very good option to get a little bit more of a more neutral skin that works very well for Gothic builds, and then having the Lost Colony cosmetics as a bit of the accents in there. I think that works very, very well. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you again in the next video or the next stream. For now, thanks for watching and goodbye.